honey profiling. How do I profile those honey beans? We're of course talking about honey processed coffee. And first and for all, what is honey processed coffee? Honey processed coffee is coffee that is depulped, allowing most or all of the mucilage of the beans sticking on the parchment coffee. So you have the coffee bean, the parchment skin around it, and then you have a certain percentage of mucilage, honey, sticking on that bean. If I have white honey, yellow honey, it's significantly less of that mucilage. If it's red honey or black honey, then it's significantly more. And that honey will start taking on these colors while it's on the drying table at the mill, at the beneficio. And so over the years, since we started working with honey processed coffees, I've done this since 2011 when I started with a major experimental project in El Salvador together with my friend Graciano Cruz. What we found out is that these honey processed coffees, they can create a next, I would say, a next level into the flavor profile of the coffee. So they increase potentially the complexity of that flavor profile. However, there's some challenge related to the roasting of honey processed coffees. The first challenge is that when you're getting a fresh delivery of honey processed coffee, it's very possible that that coffee still has not settled. It still has not gone through enough time of what we call curing, or reposso as they call it in Spanish. So there's not too much you can do about that unless you allow in the first stage of your roasting kind of a priming stage. And what does that mean? That when I start roasting a fresh crop honey processed coffee, I basically do a elongated heat soak. That means I charge my beans at a relatively modest temperature that could be in the realm of 325 degrees Fahrenheit, which is less than 150 degrees centigrade. And I allow the coffee with minimal heat input from the burners just to get used to that atmosphere of, give and take, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat soak allows that heat to gradually penetrate the cellular structure of these honey processed beans. It also allows the heat to go into the honey, which is the dried up sugars, among others, that still sit on the outside of the coffee bean, and it allows that heat to evenly distribute through this cellular structure. The honey can be a complicating factor in efficient heat transfer. That's why you really want to focus on this. So how do I roast my honey processed beans? So first of all, I do my heat soak. Once I've done my heat soak, then I start to gradually build my flavor, my roasting profile in order to create my unique flavors. So doing a heat soak for freshly processed honey processed beans is very essential. Doing it with beans that have gone through more curing is less essential. But my most important advice is that when you're doing a roasting profile with honey processed beans, build up your profile, your roasting profile gradually. So your level of heat input, you ramp it up until the 4th to 6th minute, so in that window, and then you start controlling it and bringing it down. Now, it obviously depends also on what type of roaster you're using, but in general, you want to roast honey processed beans with a lot of diligence. Be careful with your heat input in order not to be inconsistent with the heat transfer throughout this profile. And you can learn more about this at coffeecourses.com. We have Coffee Pro at this amazing website, and this gives you a lot of chance to study. And there's some free materials as well, but you really ought to sign up, and hopefully we'll see you there. See you soon. Good luck.